بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد سيد الخلق أجمعين. اللهم ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وارحمنا واهدنا واهد بنا وعافنا يا ربنا وزدنا علما يا رحمن يا رحيم. اللهم يا ربنا تقبل منا دعاءنا وتقبل منا قيامنا وصيامنا وصلاتنا رمضان. اللهم يا ربنا اجعلنا من عبادك الصالحين واجعلنا يا ربنا من المقبولين واجعلنا يا ربنا من أهل جنات النعيم يا رحمن يا رحيم. Today, inshallah, we continue on with our quest to shed some light on some of the surah in the Quran al-Kareem. Inshallah, today we will be talking about Surah Hud. Surah Hud is the surah number 11 in the sequence in the Quran, and it has 123 ayah, and it is part of the Ma'in. Ma'in is the second portion. We got the first portion of the Quran, which is the 7 lengthy Tuwal, the lengthy surah, and then we have the Ma'in, which is the surah that contains 100 ayah and more in it. So in Surah Hud, and this is the second surah, of course, that we know that is named after a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hud alayhi salam. And in the sequence was revealed this 3 surah, as we discussed yesterday. The 3 surah came in sequence of being revealed, are the same sequence are in the Quran. Usually it's not, usually it differs. So Surah Yunus came in as well, afterwards came in Surah Hud, afterwards came in Surah Yusuf alayhi salam in the sequence, and they are also in sequence in the Quran itself. Surah Hud, it revolves around the concept of when a da'iyah or a prophet or somebody who is working for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or come to think of it, in any quest anybody is working for, when he's going through and digging and spending effort for that cause, especially the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like a prophet, sometimes under the pressure, what's going to end up happening is 1 out of 3 things will happen to this prophet or this person, to practically today to any Muslim. Either he will, under the pressure, he will actually cave in and will give in, will give up, and will emulate everybody else, will become like everybody else. Start saying, you know what, it's too much. I must be wrong. Everybody's going this direction. I'm fighting against the wave, against the current, and I'm working so hard, and everybody's against me, and on and on. So basically, he caves in. Or because of the pressure, he will transgress. He will commit tughyan. What happens is that he will he'll go outside of the path by becoming sometimes violent. Sometimes he is more on the attack. Sometimes he's more aggressive than he should be. And subhanAllah, this is typical. When we see human nature today, you find people who are under pressure. They act, either they give in to the pressure outside, or they go on the attack on the other side. They become violent and they go in an aggressive way against the current. Or the third way, and that's the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the order here is istaqim, be straight, stick to the message. Do not get distracted away from what you are supposed to do. And this is the ayah, the whole concept of this, it's in ayah number 113 in the surah, Surah Hud, all the way towards the end. وَلَا تَرْكَنُوا إِلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا. Do not tarkan, do not give in, do not surrender your ways to the transgressors. فَتَمَسَّكُمُ النَّارِ. If you do this, then the fire will touch you the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءَ. And you have nobody who will support you other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the ayah number 12. فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ. Be straight, make istiqamah as you are ordered. وَمَنْ تَابَ مَعَكَ. You and everybody with you. وَلَا تَطْغَوْا. And do not transgress, do not surpass the point of you're supposed to be going. Set the limitation for yourself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. So this is the concept. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the beginning of the surah, and this is the And this is kind of, given in all the surah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He reveals them in the Quran. He starts talking about the book, complimenting the book, praising the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praising Himself, telling us who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and on, like that. It starts with Alif Lam Ra, كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير. This book, the ayat in it, أحكمت, it's been gathered with the ways of wisdom, with way of tightening, the way of effectiveness. ثم فصلت, and then it was actually divided in a way that from only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the wise, the khabir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all knowledgeable. What is the message here? أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا اللَّهِ, do not worship anybody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّنِي لَكُمْ مِنْهُ نَذِيرٌ وَبَشِيرٌ. I am to you from Him, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nadhir, a warner, and a bashir, will bring you the good news. وَأَنِ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ, make istighfar, say astaghfirullah, 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 continuously. ثُمَّ توبوا إِلَيْهِ, make tawbah to Him. يُمَتِّعُكُمْ مَتَاعًا حَسَنًا, He will give you good sustenance for a specific period of time. إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمًّى, to a specific period of time where everything will end. وَيُؤْتِي كُلَّ ذِي فَضْلٍ فَضْلَهُ, and it will give everybody who has any kind of reward, will give him his reward. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, and if everybody turns away from what the message that you've given them, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tell them, فَإِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ كَبِيرٍ, I am afraid for you to have a great torturous day, that huge day, the day of judgment. إِلَى اللَّهِ مَرْجِعُكُمْ, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always go back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Himself. He's the one who created heaven and earth. He's the one who gave. He's the one who taught. He's the one who sustained. He's the one who, and what do the kafirin do? They deny, they reject with all these messages the Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send as part of the rahmah on them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, and as a general examples of this concept, of the three concepts here in the surah, after praising Himself and talking about the greatness of this book and emphasizing the credentials of this book, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings up the story of 7 different nations. Starts with the story of Nuh alayhi salam. And this is the ayah, starts with ayah number 25. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ إِنِّي لَكُمْ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. We have sent Nuh alayhi salam to his people. I am a warner for you. أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Remember the message. Always the message never changed. Do not worship anybody but Allah. إِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ أَلِيمٍ. I am afraid for you to have a great torturous day, painful day, the day of judgment. فَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. The establishment, the people who commit kufr, what did they say to him? مَا نَرَاكَ إِلَّا بَشَرًا. We're not seeing anything in you. You're just a human being like us. What are you talking about? مثلنا وما نراك اتبعك إلا الذين هم أراذلنا. I don't see anybody who followed you except the weak ones, the disabled ones, the poor ones, the orphans. We don't see the rich following you. We don't see the ones who have the influence following you. The influencers, as per se, they're not following you. You're just nothing but the poor people following you. You're just nobody, basically. وما نرى عليكم من فضل. And we're not seeing you guys better than us. Why would we follow you? SubhanAllah, their concentration, their point is on this earthly life. They're not focusing on the life after. بَلْ نَظُنُّكُمْ كَاذِبِينَ. Actually, but the truth is, they're saying, we think of you, you're lying to us. Nuh alayhi salam says, if I had the bayinah, if I had the clarification from my Rabb, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me rahmah, gave me an ease to supply to you, to give you that message, to make it easy on you and for you to be in the Jannah and the life after. فَأُمِّيَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ. You could get blinded on it. أَنُلْزِمُكُمُوهَا. Would we enforce it on you? This is the message here. Would we force it on you and you don't like it? No, you have to believe it on your own. That is the message of Nuh alayhi salam. And he emphasizes the point. I'm not asking you for money. I don't want reward from you. Like Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he never asked anybody for any money. In ajriya illa ala Allah. My reward, my payback is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I will not kick out the believers who followed me, no matter how poor, how rich, or who they are, or what they are. وَيَا قَوْمِ مَنْ يَنْصُرُنِي مِنَ اللَّهِ. And he says, Ya Allah, Ya O my people, who would support me? Who would help me from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if I kick these people out? They are the followers of the message. They're just not following me specifically as a person, but they're following the message that I come with from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he kept on arguing and arguing with them and on until for 950 long years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the order is that your work is done. Nobody will believe from them. You need to build that ship, the ark, for you to go on it. You and all your followers, which is, we know from the historians what they said, about 70 people or so, they went on the ark, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant for them to be saved. Now, look at the rest of the message. When Nuh alayhi salam landed in the ark, and the water started to come down, and either from the earth, actually exploded from the earth and from heaven, from the top and the bottom, everything started to flood everywhere. Was the message of Nuh alayhi salam was over? Was it over when his people denied and denounced and they stopped him? Was it over when they were making fun of him? And that was the message here. They used to make fun of him. And every group of people used to pass by him when he's building the ship. They used to kind of making fun. What are you doing? What kind of joke is this? What are you doing? You're building a ship? You're building a ship in the middle of the desert? Where is the water going to come from? How is it going to float? What are you talking about? And Nuh alayhi salam never listened to them. He never obeyed them. He kept going with his path with the building the ship. After he built it, he had all the animals in it. And then he called all the believers to ride on it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the water at this point. The ship started to float. Was his job done? No. فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتِ. He kept going, istiqamah, straight path. He kept going. He would not even leave one person behind, not his son or anybody else. And then وَنَادَى نُوحٌ ابْنَهُ. Nuh now called upon his son. قال يا بني, وكان في معزل. He was a little bit far away from the rest of everybody else. يا بني اركب معنا. Oh my son, ride with us. Come with us. He did not tell him to make salah. He did not tell him to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All he asked him is just one thing. Just ride with us. Ride the ship. And this is the metaphor here. The metaphor of the ship is a physical device that will save you. Today, we don't have that physical device. We don't have how we're going to be saved. It's more like a mental issue or psychological thing. We need to think, we need to believe. In their time, it was an actual ark needs to be built to show them the differentiation between drowning or being saved. What was the answer of his son? He says, قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء. He says, I will turn to a mountain will save me from the water. Nuh alayhi salam says, لا عاصم اليوم. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody will protect you at this point. And sure enough, a wave came in and took his son away. He never gave in. He never gave up. He never was dissuaded. He never was frustrated. He kept going for 950 years, and he saw his own son being swept away in front of him because he did not believe in his message. And what happened afterwards? He still kept going with the message. He still asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive his son. And he says, my son is from my family. Inna wa'adaka al-haq. You promised me, Allah, wa'ad al-haq, that the good people, they will be saved. And you are the most wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed him. قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, it's not from your ahl, it's not from your family. It's not a إنه عمل غير صالح. This work, this person is not a good deed for you. The good deeds, which is your other three sons, are with you. They come with you, but he's not. إني أعظك أن تكون من الجاهلين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrected his path, and he told him, do not just follow this path by asking forgiveness for your son or asking about him. Immediately, he went back into the path again. Nuh alayhi salam, he says, قال رب إني أعوذ بك أن أسألك ما ليس لك به علم. I ask refuge with you, Allah, from anything, from me to ask you anything that I don't have any knowledge of. You know, and I don't. Sticking to the path. He never transgressed. He never gave in. He never caved in He never, transgressed on the other side against anybody, his own people, or against the message. The message was 100% straight on the path. The second story here, Hud alayhi salam. وإلى عاد, the people of Ad, their brother is Hud alayhi salam. Hud alayhi salam, like Nuh alayhi salam, they were making fun of him. Hud alayhi salam, they were actually threatening him with physical punishment. And this is the message, or maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. Some scholars said that's why it's called Surah Hud alayhi salam, because of his actions. Look what he says. He says, Hud alayhi salam told his people, and this is the ayah number 54, قال إني أشهد الله واشهدوا أني بريء مما تشركون. He says, I am witness, and you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala witness that I am completely free and far away from what you guys are making shirk with. فَكِيدُونِي جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ لَا تُنظِرُونِ. He says, work anything you want. Do whatever that your plans and conspiracies would do against me. And you don't have to wait. Go ahead and do it. And he answered by the most prolific way, the most beautiful way. He says, إِنِّي تَوَكَّلْتُ عَلَى اللَّهِ. I surrendered my ways. I surrendered myself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ رَبِّي وَرَبُّكُمْ. Is my Rabb and your Rabb. Is everybody's Rabb. Is our Rabbul Alameen. And he says, مَا مِن دَابَّةٍ إِلَّا هُوَ آخِذٌ مِنْ نَاصِيَتِهَا. There's nothing will walk the face of this earth except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking its forehead, is leading it, is driving it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the cause of its good and the cause of its bad, no matter where it comes from. Maybe this bravery, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the recognition to face this force, to face this physical threat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named the whole surah after him. Did he give in? Never gave in, never gave up, never transgressed, always have istiqamah. Ila Thamud, the same thing. Thamud alayhi salam, the people of Thamud, and Salih alayhi salam is their prophet. قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله, the same message again, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he gave them he gave them exactly what they asked for. Was he dissuaded by frustration after they promised him? They said that if you gotta make this rock, gonna bring in the camel out of it. And when the rock gave birth to a camel, to a female camel, and was given the milk, was he frustrated? Did he give in? Did he cave in? Did he say that I give up on the message? I am, this is frustrating, this is crazy, this is not acceptable? No. He kept going with the path. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the victory all the way towards the end. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed the people, the transgressors who did not believe in him, did not believe in his message. Ibrahim alayhi salam has another story here. Ibrahim alayhi salam was associated his story with the story of Lut alayhi salam. And we know that Lut is the nephew of Ibrahim alayhi salam. They migrated together from Iraq, from between the two rivers, all the way to Palestine. And he, of course, he went to Egypt first, and then he came back to Palestine. But look what happened to him. Look at the message of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Is the greatness, the goodness for all believers, no matter who they are and what they are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when wanted to destroy the people of Lut alayhi salam, he sent the angels to the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam. They walked in, he did not recognize them, and he, as generous as he was, and he was a person who raised cows, so he goes out and he brings in a calf and he slaughters it and he brings it up to them, and he he cooked it, barbecue it on an open fire. The fat was dripping out of it. These three, they looked like human beings. They never approached it. He knew immediately these are angels. There's no human being who resists, a traveler especially, would resist this kind of food that put in front of him. So he looked up, he says, what you guys are doing here? And he got scared of them. He said, don't be scared. We are sent to the people of Lut for us to destroy them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to make fly on top of them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a specific stone for every somebody to be hit with his name on it. What did Ibrahim alayhi salam do? Immediately went back to the defense of the believers. Immediately he said, how would you destroy a city? How would you destroy the whole city? How about if some believers are in it? See how he never was distracted from his message to protect the believers, to be on the side of the believers, even though he never met any of them, of those people who are in the city of Lut. He was actually defending them. He was on their side. The Mufassirin said that the three angels looked at each other. They said, no wonder he is awwah. He's Halim. He's the patient. He's the smart one. Look what he's concerned with. He's concerned with the livelihood and the affairs of the believers in the city of Lut alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he sends, these three to the people of Lut. And Lut alayhi salam, that's the other story here, where the story number 6 of the sixth nation, how the transgressors in his own people, they went after the dirty, filthy things, after the unlawful, irregular, uh, filthy relationships that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala did not destine for man to do, and yet they went after it. This is what they wanted, of course. But they had shirk, they had kufr in their communities. They also were transgressors. They used to rob people. They used to do different bad things in their communities that was disastrous, brought disasters on them eventually. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, look at the frustration, how they stood in front of his own door, the people of Lut alayhi salam, and they were informed by his wife previously, which is, she told him there's good looking guests, come on by and take a look at them. They were waiting by the door, and he opened up the door and Tasaram piled up there. And he says, what are you doing? You're gonna embarrass me in front of my guests. If you are running after this thing, marry my daughters. Come take them. They're beautiful. You marry them. You have a good relationship. They said, no, no, no. We don't want that. That's not what we're after. You know what we are after. This is what we want. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala ordered Lut alayhi salam with all the frustration he's been through, with all the pressure from all different sides, either from his wife, which is she betrayed him, or his people, which is they never listened to him. He never transgressed. He never made tughyan. He never made rukn. He never was like them. He kept straight on the straight path as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him, said, before Fajr, you take off, you and your family, but none of you should look back when the pain, when the torture is going to come. But subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for his wife, because of her sins, her curiosity actually overcame, or her kufr, or her khiyana, her treachery of her husband, overcame her belief. And she ended up turning back, and she became a statue. She became part of the tortured, the ones who are exposed to the torment and the torture of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people of Madian, the people of Madian, the same thing, where Shu'aib alayhi salam came to them. He told them, straighten your path, do not steal, do not rob. And with all that he has done, they forced him, they cornered him, they pushed him, and he never was dissuaded away from the path of the da'wah. He always had sabr, he always had patience, and this is the message of this surah. The surah, brothers and sisters, revolves not only about the 7 nations as examples, of no matter how they made fun of Nuh alayhi salam, no matter how physically they threatened Hud alayhi salam, no matter how frustrated Lut alayhi salam, no matter how comfortable in the comfort zone like Ibrahim alayhi salam, no matter what they have done to Musa alayhi salam, between his own people and Fir'aun on the other side, these great examples never had anything except istiqamah, straightness in their message. They never gave in, they never cave in to the transgressors on one side, and they never transgressed, they never attacked on the other side. They kept their message straight, no matter what came upon them, from outside or from the inside. They always kept going straight. This is the message, brothers and sisters. We all are Nuh alayhi salam. We are all Hud alayhi salam. We are all Shu'aib. We are all Salih alayhi salam. This is the characters that we should have inside of our hearts. No matter what they do to Islam, no matter what they say to Muslims in front of us, we never go into kicking and killing and robbing and stabbing and bombing and all. That's not us. It's not what we do. At the same time, we never give in. We never cave in. We never hide our religion. We never say that we're part of the system. We never celebrate what they celebrate. We never do what they do. We still have our own path, our own identity to go with for us to enforce the concept of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enforce these ideas and these concepts in our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us istiqamah and straightness with our path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us with ilm and knowledge and arm us with the best knowledge of our deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us, inshallah, with no less than Jannatul Firdaus in this month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us, inshallah, in the highest ranking, accept all our actions, our deeds in this month.